Hi there, I'm Eileen with SOAR, your host to Seeing the World Through Trifocals. You know, this is my way of staying young and giving others the opportunity to feel personally superior. You know, oh, poor thing. Or feel glad that you aren't related to me. My kids wish they could use that. Or maybe even giggle and look at something in a slightly different way. That's my goal. There are so many ways to see things. I'm amazed at how even as few as two people can look at the same thing and describe it totally different. How one person can see beauty and one person can see yuck. Of course, you know, when I visit the Museum of Modern Art, I sort of understand that one, because I see splatters, weird colors, what reminds me of a preschool art class paper table cover. And someone else says, now that's art. I thought I knew art, and I was mesmerized by the paintings of Rubens and Rembrandt that I saw in the museums in Munich. I think I'm going to demand a tax refund for the lousy job my high school art teacher apparently did when she was trying to teach me about great art. Also, I recently saw where someone had welded together a bunch of scrap iron and said it told the story of creation. I said to myself, if you want to see an artistic representation of creation, go to the Sistine Chapel. Or better yet, if you can't afford that, just look around. Several years ago, my husband and I, much to the chagrin of my mother, our children, our friends, and my fellow employees, we announced that for our vacation, we were going to hop on our Yamaha Venture motorcycle and go to the Grand Canyon. I think I already told you my impression of the meteor crater, but I cannot find the words, which I know is kind of hard to believe, to describe the rest of the trip. The best of art pales when compared to the real thing. Even the thousands of photographs I took balanced on the back of the motorcycle didn't capture the beauty of what surrounded us. Whether I was looking at the mountains with its beautiful trees, watching a majestic eagle soar through them, or the canyons that drop down hundreds of feet displaying layers of different colors as they disappeared into a ribbon of frothy white and blue. When I saw Monument Valley, it reminded me of when I took my children to the beach and let them make sand castles. I figured God let the children in heaven take a day trip and make rock towers that looked like people, balance rocks on top of each other to make a table, or somehow defy gravity and make a huge arch that looked ever so fragile. I was amazed. In the middle of this emptiness with a powerful presence that I couldn't explain. It was right there all the time, but I had never seen it before because I had never looked at it before. I spent my time looking past things to see what was down the road instead of looking at what was right in my face. How many times in life do we do this? How many times in life have you done this? We spend so much time looking to the future that we miss the now. I read something the other day that went something like this. My memory isn't quite as good as it used to be, so I won't say it was exactly like this. But it said that when I was young, I was dying to be 18 when I could be on my own. Then I was dying to find a life partner that I would have someone to share my life with. Then I was dying to get a job so I could have all the things I wanted. Then I was dying for the children to grow up so I could have some peace and quiet again. Then I was dying to retire so I wouldn't hate Mondays so much. And finally, I was retired and just dying. I had missed so much. Well, I'm here to tell you, as long as you aren't dead yet, you've been dying since you took your first breath of air at 1 minute old. Get up and put on your grown-up underwear and live until you die. 68? 72? That's not too old to take that trip you always wanted, even if it's on a motorcycle. Grandma Moses started painting because the arthritis in her hand was so bad she couldn't sew anymore. The Colonel didn't become the international symbol of chicken until he was about 65. I remember when we crossed over into Canada, and the first thing we saw after across the border was a big billboard advertising KFC. Laura Ingalls Wilder. She published 12 books in her Little House series, and she didn't write the first one until she was 65. Is there a painting in you? Is there a family secret recipe or a story hiding within you? Let it out. I'm not saying go get a job. That's a whole different episode and aimed at a much younger demographic. But I'm going to repeat something because it's so important. Live until you die. Do what makes you happy. Find what makes you eager to get up in the morning, look at the world and experience. Find a cause to get involved in. I visit hospice with my service dog twice a week, and it makes me happy to momentarily bring joy to someone who's hurting. Do you have any idea how many lonely, scared people are out there who just need a smile, a kind word, an inspiration to keep going? You could very well be the one God has chosen to meet their need. And as we know, you can't outgive God, so He will fill you with much more than you give away. The neat thing is, it doesn't cost you anything except a little bit of time. And as we all know, one of the first questions anyone asks a newly retired person is, what are you going to do with all the extra time you have now? My answer, and I hope your answer, I'm going to actually see, spread, and share the beauty of God's wonderful gift of life. So laugh, live, and love the life you have. It'll make both you and God happy. Until next time, put on your trifocals and look at the world.